Hello everybody and welcome back to Camel Studios. Yeah, well, the very first thing I have to say is sorry for last video and the little information overlay which comes down from the very top of the video and with the little bing sound. I'm completely honest with you, I just tested it, but since this was recorded on Tuesday when there was like a day off here in Germany, it's the day of work, so to say. I don't even know if that's in other countries as well, but I wanted to get the video out real quick, and then we just, you know, went partying and stuff and went outside, so I wanted to be finished real quickly. Funny enough though was that I prepared that overlay quite a while ago, but I haven't ever tested this with sound and stuff, so what I did is I just slapped it into the video and I completely misjudged the sound level and stuff, because I didn't have the time to watch the entire 33 minutes of the video again to check if everything's right. So I just skipped through it to see if sound and everything was rendered correctly, and so I couldn't really see that. But yeah, from your comments, I have to say sorry. I didn't want to annoy you with that. You know that I'm barely ever want to annoy you with anything like that. I just wanted to make this overlay since those two things are really important to me, and especially that thing with the bell and stuff, and it's really annoying to always say this, and so I wanted to have at least an overlay to not be as picky with it all the time, to annoy you with that in the commentary. But yeah, so I now do this without any sound and just 2 times the video, and at the beginning and at the end, and hope that this will be fine with you, or fine for you, I don't know. Well, yeah, I think we have to talk about what's going on in today's episode, because the Camel Studios was delayed a little bit, but yeah, as I said at the very beginning, I can't maintain the twice a week rhythm of these episodes, so we are now, after the hype of the Studios pack, we are now back at a normal rhythm of hopefully 1 time a week. At the moment I think I can stick to it, and I have prepared already a little bit of stuff, so at least that for this week I'm fine. Don't know how this will be in the next ones, but yeah. This whole episode will be about dealing with that damn queue and the basic building around the station in general. So it's a little bit complicated, because I wanted to do something really different today, or in this very build. Like, you know, this should be like the most advanced ride in the whole park, in terms of a proper queue, in terms of the station building, in terms of everything. Like it's a dueling coaster which has multiple purposes and has multiple aspects of realism that I usually don't focus on too much, such as a priority lane, such as a change track and stuff like that. So I wanted to bring that all into position. As you can see, I'm dealing quite a lot with the queue over here. So the idea about the queue is that the queue should be kind of have the similar length to both of the queues, so for the left and for the right coaster, and it still should feel like one queue. Obviously it can't really do it like it's supposed to be, because well, one of those 2 queues necessarily needs to go over the track to be on the other hand side, and as you can see from the exit goes through a tunnel, so I really had to focus on that. But as you can see, I'm already placing 1 priority lane over here for the left track, and I'm placing the other one for the right track right over here, which is kind of a shorter one, because I had to struggle, or I had a little bit of struggle with the positioning, but in general I just wanted to have the priority lane in general, because you do see that kind of often in theme parks, way more often than you expect, and I just wanted to remind everybody of the queue, the priority lane in general in Planet Coaster. I feel like that this is somehow, I don't know why, but it seems to be one of the most forgotten items in Planet Coaster. I do remember when this thing came out, or just they announced it in one of the alphas, I was like completely blown away, because that was one thing I would never ever expect in the game, and then it was just there without even being questioned, and that was really a cool moment where it was like really there looking into each and every detail. So I wanted to bring that back, and I focused on that a while ago, also in other parks, but yeah, I just thought, okay, it's time to bring it really back in terms of really giving it a purpose instead of just being there. And yeah, I guess it's a good idea to have it, and now let's see what we can do with it. And yeah, furthermore, we are going now into the build of the station, and this is really a hard one, a tough one, I have to say, because this should be the police station. And the surrounding of the police station will be a little bit of a parking lot where we have some police cars standing around. We will have a little restaurant, or more like a kiosk. It's not really a restaurant, it's more like a kiosk. And the whole building should actually look like a police academy, and still should fit into the studio style. And this is really, yeah, it's the tough one, because I really have to make this seem as a proper studio asset, so to say. So really I want to make also some props and pieces next to it, so that you can really imagine as if that would be a proper studio. Like really have some lighting systems here and there, have some green screens around, and you know, all this kind of stuff you do see quite often in studios. Because obviously one thing you do also have in studios are really big buildings. Like, you know, they build complete sets of buildings just to have those buildings as yeah, maybe just a set or model, but sometimes they really build it in real size to have it. If there is a lot of this used in a movie, they would actually build a whole academy, or at least, you know, the front facade of it. So I'm also going to focus a lot on the front facade. Not in this episode. This will be mainly about just layouting the whole area and giving it a proper layout in general, because it's really blocking out the zones a little bit more than usually. I do have something in mind for the whole time, but it appears to be a little bit more difficult with this dueling coaster, because it's all the way around, so the coaster is everywhere, and I don't want to hide it too much, but at the same time I don't want to make it too prominent. I want to still let the station speak for itself as well in kind of the looks of it, and it should still be feeling like a little bit of a, you know, real academy house, like this real brick built house with a lot of brick elements, and yeah, basically how you would see it like in a US thing, kind of, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was the basic idea about this, and I was going for this kind of style, and I hope it turned out kind of nicely in the end. I'm quite happy, to be honest, even though I had to struggle. I had a lot of struggle with the positioning of many elements, and also I'm still dealing with that little studio building on the left hand side where the coaster's going above the queue, because that one is, yeah, at the moment kind of empty. It's just like a block building. I do want to do something with it, but I have no clue what. So I'm thinking of making maybe an upper floor, which is basically a control room or something, or I don't know if I can put a flat ride on an upper roof or something, you know, because it has no purpose at the moment, which is a little bit waste of space. And then I still want to go into this. I don't know if I can do this, but yeah. Also here dealing a little with the paths and figuring out again that, you know, the path texture is pretty nice to have. Or I should say the asphalt texture, but it doesn't really blend in. I remember when they first brought out the update that at least there was one path which does really blend into the texture perfectly, but they took it away and they exchanged it with a texture which is way better, but it doesn't blend in. So I would love to at least have one texture which blends in with at least one path. That would be nice, but yeah, for the moment I think I should be happy with what we have. I am, but yeah, just to mention. Yeah, but you can see really easily putting a roof on top of this thing now. The interior won't be too detailed. I will go into the interior later in another episode, but not in this episode. And I just will bring in some beams, some ironwork, and potentially also at least one floor to separate the station, or make some chains more, again, chain fences between them to have kind of these nets, safety nets and stuff. But that's basically about it. So I don't want to go in and make proper, like, actual rooms and stuff. That would be too much, but yeah. So one thing I mentioned is now the parking lot, which is in front of the academy, and this is what I'm going to prepare right now. It will be done with those path elements, or I don't even know how they called, pavement. I guess it's pavement or something. But yeah, Also, you will notice, by the way, in one of the, or mostly in most of the future episodes, that I kind of got a new workaround for all the crashes I had, and I'm really gotten to be really, I don't even have the name for it in English, but I'm saving the game every 10 minutes. Like it's really like a disease. I'm hitting F5 all the time just to save the game, and I'm too lazy to cut those all out. So you will probably see me doing those saving actions quite a lot in the future episodes, just to make sure that if the game crashes, I don't have to redo too much. I got that pretty annoying. If you're going to lose more than half an hour of work, that's, you know, I don't have that much time at hand, so every minute I play in the game is really valuable for me, so I will have a look into it so that I don't lose too much of time. But yeah, again, same as always, struggling a little with the pass, just wanting to prepare a little bit of this corner. This is the kiosk I was talking about, and the style of the kiosk is basically like the entrance building to the parking lot. You most often see that with a police station or a police academy or something. You do always have this little building, you know, before you go into the parking lot. You have this little building where you have a police officer, or kind of a parking lot officer, it's more or less, I guess, who's then, you know, just checking if you're the right person. And those are all these persons that are completely clueless in movies, and which do always let people in, even though they look totally suspicious, but they always let people in, so they're like shown like the most dumb people on earth. But yeah, those persons, you know who I mean. And that's what I basically wanted to do. I wanted to make this little booth in front of the parking lot and make this, or turn this into a little food stand. And yeah, as you can see, probably the no-brainer in this area is to put in down some police cars. And there is one thing I need to do with those, and I will do this, but for now I just used this car over here, and I will have to replace them because I got an idea to make them look a little bit more nice. But yeah, it looks a little bit deplaced at the moment because it's not looking like a proper parking lot yet. We do have still to make the floor graphics where it fits in and stuff like that. I'm also considering putting big screens below, because I feel like using all the pavement pieces is, yeah, there are not too many, but you can do this with less billboards, and maybe I'm going to do that. But anyways, yeah, as you can see here, I'm just doing this little I don't even have the name for it. It's like the little thing you have before you enter the parking lot. How is this even called in English? I completely forgot the name, because usually I know it, but I completely forgot it. Yeah, and I just wanted to make this look a little bit more like actually having machinery over there, and putting some buttons over here on the hand side, so that you can really go there and then make this manually, also by hand and stuff. Yeah, just to have this little extra over here. And also one thing I wanted to do, I don't know if that fits in, is make kind of a staff path going into the backstage area of this coaster then. But yeah, for now this is what it is, and I hope that this at least fits. But yeah, that's about it again. In general about the layouting. As you can see, I'm changing the coaster a tiny little bit to make it all fit and a little bit nicer into it, and not make those cars crash into the walls, and just a little bit of general smoothing and overall putting together and making sure that, as you can see over here, that the coaster really fits in and does not crash against the wall, because as I said, I wanted to make it at least as realistic as possible. I guess that at least I got it to work, but yeah. Never mind, that's about it for this episode, guys. I hope you liked it, and I hope you are curious for next episode, because that will be the episode where we will at least finish the overall police academy. I can already tell it looks kind of nice. I'm pretty happy with the outcome. So hopefully you guys are excited for it. So see you then, and have a good day. Bye bye, guys. We should be hiding out wherever we may find love that's flowing on.